I got the right microphone on. All right.
And
nailing it.
You can hear it. All right, baby. You know what that means. It's time for Record Talk. Let's do it.
You know who you are.
That's a pretty sweet remix you got going on.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely
Well
done.
done.
Sir. Very nicely done. Look at you. On point.
Oh,
It'll
my
never happen again. Rob, do it
Nothing
again.
less.
It's impossible.
God. I'll do it right now. Are you testing my abilities?
That was amazing.
I was in time better before.
It was. It's still really cool.
Still good. Still good, man. Yeah, you're becoming quite the little mix master over there.
Mix Master Rob.
Yeah,
How's
man.
everyone doing, man? Welcome to Record Talk. White Pony.
White ponies.
What's up, Dylan Rackley?
Hey, Dylan.
Mr. Rack, how's it going? Hi, everyone.
D-Rack back with the attack.
Oh,
Snack.
Rob is freestyling horrifically. Oh, man.
Welcome.
So how's
to
everybody doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I feel like this week is blasting by.
I feel the exact opposite. I feel like this week is taking so long.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's brutal at work. It's painful.
Oh, man, it stinks.
It all feels like, I don't know, like this is my favorite day of the week because like it's weird for me because like Mondays,
See
like,
our faces?
well, yeah, honestly, but like Mondays, like is a real busy due day for me. Tuesday, the same. Wednesday, my lessons start to get busier. And then Thursday is my busiest lesson day. And then Friday, it just kind of, but this is like my, I don't know, like crosses over. I don't know. This is the transition from lots of work to fun to more work to, yeah, that didn't make any sense, but.
No, that makes perfect
No,
sense.
I got you.
Yeah. Can't
Well,
be that bad. You get your ladies on the shelf behind you, so you're in good shape.
Wait, there it is. I got it. Yes.
You
Yes.
remind me of that hearing test with my giant headphones and during elementary school. Just when you hear the beep, raise a hand.
I want to go for one of those. I don't know if you can just spontaneously ask for one of those from like an audiologist so I can find out how deaf I am.
You
I'm
can.
curious.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Pretty sure they're a lot more thorough and more advanced now than the whole.
The little one
Because
with
they
it.
do them with infants now, and infants can't even respond when they're born. So they do like a whole test, and they're able to tell about, how well they're able to hear or not hear.
You know what's really funny? You're talking about those tests. Like
Yeah.
I can remember what those headphones felt like. They were really
Yeah.
tight on your head.
Clamp. There was like a damn vice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember how they used to sterilize them before they went from kid to kid?
No.
No, I was like, wait a
Neither.
second. No, they didn't. What are you talking about? I like when
You
they
do
stick
your
to your
Catholic
ear,
elementary school.
stick, and you're like,
Denise
ah,
Randall,
God.
though, they actually took them out of the trash can and they gave them to us. I said, these seem good.
Yeah.
It looked like some like polygraph device from Project Blue Book when I went to do mine. It was freaking It was just horrifying.
I'm going to take it a step further. I've been on payphones. Yes, children, they were payphones. That were cleaner and putting to my ear than the damn headphones in elementary school, for sure. Not to
Oh,
say that
man.
all payphones are like that. You can come across some pretty gnarly ones in New York City. Really gnarly ones.
Hey guys, you know what time it is, don't you?
What time is it, Rob?
What's in the
Oh, James got it. Here it comes now.
what's in the what's in the what's in the what's in the what's in the
What do we got? Brian, you first.
Ah, man, boring because I got late to the start. So it's this beautiful Contigo bottle of water.
Get the job done.
Pretty lame. I was going to make a cup of tea, but that didn't work out. So,
Always next week.
always.
What do you got, James?
I made a cocktail of a limeade, Malibu, and
Ooh.
coconut cream of coconut, and then I shook the crap out of it and poured it over 2 ice cubes, and it's delicious.
Fantastic. That sounds
Brian, you say
neat.
cocktail.
You did say cocktail. Oh, I did, yeah.
Did I? No, I didn't.
Right?
It's
Brian,
the cocktail.
All
You got my back. It's all good.
right. I mean, I'm not. I got a glass of water that I'm gonna keep filling up because I had a salty dinner.
Fancy glass. What kind of china is that?
This is actually from Amazon. What do they call it? The Amazon
Amazon Basics.
Amazon. Yeah. I got a
Basics.
5,000 of these for $20, and they're
Nice.
compostable. And I'm actually also drinking my coffee from this morning, which is ice cold, which I double cup because there could be COVID on this cup, but not on my cup. So we're safe as I drink from the cup.
That's a whole lot of crazy to unpack right there.
Welcome to
All
my
good. Well,
Oh man.
so what are we
Yeah.
talking about, guys?
We are talking about White Pony. But before we do that, I just want to kind of just talk a little bit about the learning process that we got going on with this record talk. So I mean, for all you guys watching, this has been a learning process. We're on episode 36, and if you watch any of these episodes in successive order, you can kind of see and listen and or watch at a later date. You can witness that growth in real time. We're constantly conversing off the air, and whether it's virtually and through text and phone calls, and just kind of always looking at how to adapt this show and provide ourselves and our fans with the best artist community that we could develop. And one of the major goals this year has been, creating a better organization amongst other goals that we had, and just always looking forward to how we can create themes and just moving along and providing the best content we can. So, next week we're going to do our Lerv songs in celebration of that funky holiday, Valentine's Day, and then going into Black History Month with an episode for that. But I just want everybody to just bear with us as we kind of develop the show to the best of our ever evolving capabilities, and just really bring you guys some amazing content. But we all have full-time jobs, we have families, but we give 100% to this project, and we're going to continue to create stellar content. And we always look forward to your guys' comments. So we're always looking to grow. So keep those comments coming, and we're just going to blast ahead, rockets firing, man. And really appreciate you. It's a privilege to have this platform and interact with the audience, and it is not lost upon us. So we really, really appreciate you, Crate Diggers. Really do.
Beautifully beautifully dead. Brother. Yeah,
Very well said.
it's true. I mean,
Last episode, Brian Stein.
make your microphone louder.
Making the microphone louder.
There you go. Yeah, I mean that's really important. We do put a tremendous amount of effort, and we talk about this for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes you guys are talking while I'm sleeping, and then I wake up to hours of audio messages. I listened to the whole ride to work today, and I'm talking to you guys, but you're not answering because you're just talking to each other. 3-hour-old voice messages. But we share a note because we all live in different states. Like, we're not hanging out together in real life, sadly. So
right.
There's the cloud is actually our fourth member, and we're just sharing information out there. So
Yeah, true. Yeah,
We're a bunch of Care Bears. Clouds? What? It's a terrible joke.
I'd like to think
I
I'm Wish
look
Bear.
like one with this thing on my belly. I mean, I don't know.
You're Rob School
man.
of Music Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's true though. Me and James, James, you're in Arizona, and your time is earlier than us, but I think because of our work schedules, you and I are constantly conversing early in the morning because I have early shifts. So like we're almost like on the same time. Like we never missed a beat in New York.
Which is insane to me because I'm an hour or two ahead of both of you.
You've always been on Rob time zone your whole life.
Which there's 4 of them, in case you didn't know. But, every morning, like, Sam is like, "Who is texting you?" And I'm like, "I forgot." Do not disturb.
That's usually my bad. Sorry about that.
No, I mean it's always a treat to listen to. So
yeah,
I tell you, listen. Well, I'm sorry. What?
I was gonna say we got to finish that conversation about Shang Tsung and the Monk, but we'll get to that.
Did you
another
guys
time.
watch Johnny Tsunami? What? Come on.
not yet. No.
I watched the trailer for it on YouTube, and I laughed my ass off. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
check it
watch
out.
the movie.
I know nothing about that. I've never even heard of that.
It's a
And I
kids
love that
movie.
actor too. So I don't care. I love kids movies.
movie. He plays a surf legend named Johnny Tsunami. He is just a amazing character.
Awesome. I can't wait. I
Sam
cannot
Herman
wait.
Or Jack watched it. Yeah, both my kids. So this album is kind of outside of our normal realm, I would say. It's interesting because as I was researching and preparing for it, I do like this album, and I do like the Deftones, and I have a Deftones playlist that if you're in the gym and listen to, I promise you will hit PRs every day because it's the kind of music that just wants to throw stuff through stuff. But this ventures into, when you think Deftones, people think,
Well, I guess it would be nice.
new metal, and it's not new metal by any means. And I think James can really explain that in greater detail because this is probably one of your favorite bands. So why don't you take the stage and intro?
I think that they had the roots in new metal. If you listen to Adrenaline and what I think a lot of people define as that new metal sound, that like really, really heavy driving guitars, drums, and bass with hip hop lyrics, thrown over it, that is Adrenaline in its purest form. Adrenaline probably has a good amount of punk mixed into the music side of it too. Around the Fur is a lot heavier instruments, I think. Like the music comes in a lot heavier in terms of just being much more metal, but still has the hip hop elements in the vocals, but also starts to branch off a little bit differently in that regard too. And more blast beats, yes, one. And White Pony takes it to a completely different place. I think Chino becomes much more ambient and much more experimental in the vocal style. Brian and I were talking about it earlier today, and I'm going to blow up your spot for a minute. I'm sorry, dude. But he nailed the way that he would describe it, that if they started as new metal, White Pony kind of turned into like art metal to a degree. There's still like some hip hop elements through some of the songs, but for the most part, it's very, very ethereal and just much more experimental across the board. I think during Around the Fur, they acquired Frank Delgado to do like synths and records and things like that. And they used him a lot more in White Pony to create that like soundscape kind of a thing. Yeah. And I think it's awesome for that. It's because that's one of my favorite types of music, is that like ambient ethereal sound, and the Deftones were already kind of like on my radar as being this heavy machine. And then to hear Chino do something that was different from the hip hop thing and like show this whole other side that he had, that he really embraced further on, I thought was incredible. This album is like quintessential lightning in the bottle for the band, because the next album didn't have it and the album before didn't have it. This one is just perfect.
I think that this album, you know, in the scope of this band, because there's definitely fantastic songs after this album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel like this is their Pet Sounds. This is their magnum. This is their White Album. This is their pinnacle of their creative everything happening, flowing. How do you say his name? Chi, bass player?
Yes.
He was, you know, an integral force of what's going on within this record. It's great. I really think it's great, despite all the ball busting leading up to it.
Yeah, a lot of ball busting. Yeah, it's great. It's great to listen to an album to see such tremendous growth. And I think this album is directly responsible for the greater audience and fan base that they gained. Being one factor of this is the content of which they put forth. To me, it has an experimental element, and that's why I said it's more of like that art rock, art metal. And I think it's recognized for that. I'm not like coining that. But it's got an experimental element to it, similar to a Pink Floyd-esque approach, but to metal. And you hear that influence in it, not tremendously. It's not like you're like, oh, there you go, that's Dark Side of the Moon. No, it's just their approach to things. You listen to any Pink Floyd album, and you're like, oh, damn, they're always pushing the envelope. They're always trying to figure out different ways to maneuver the soundscape, and that has it through and through. And there's no fillers on this album at all.
Yeah, it's really, really tight from start to finish. There's a bunch of different versions of this album, as we all discovered. I remember when I got it, the first pressing of it on CD.
Was it the red case?
It was the white case with the silver booklet.
Okay.
And then I remember Rob got his, and there was a song on it that I had never heard before, and that ended up.
Pardon me.
Was that your favorite song on the album, or?
One of my favorite songs. But I'll get into that in a minute. But that should have been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Having that song there, I think, completely changed the dynamic of the album. That it went from being like a completely standalone work, instead of that, like kind of like a good segue to go from Around the Fur into a White Pony. Yeah. Because it had a little bit more of that edge, but it still kind of went in a slightly different direction to kind of prep you for what was to come next on it.
Yeah, agree. I think Chi, the bass player, actually had a great quote that I found. And he said, because they were pressured to kind of release the album sooner, as most record companies and production crew will do, is like, hey, let's, strike with the iron's hot. And they just decided to take their time with this album. And she said, we didn't feel like we had anything to lose. So we just made the record that we wanted to make. And that shines through and through in this album. And I think if you had listened to all the noise around you, I don't think you would have gotten this album. I think you would have gotten something that would have been like Around the Fur again. I don't think you would have seen this growth. I wouldn't have seen this kind of courageous kind of experimentation.
I think that, what year is this? 99?
No, 2000, bro.
2000, yeah. So it's like, trying to think. That's like
you're starting to see the height of like new metal. You're starting to
Right.
see some of these bands really take motion. And then there's other bands within the metal community, like you have Tool coming out, and you hear Tool influence in this. I hear The Cure in this. I hear it in the industrial genre to an extent too. And I
When's
think a lot has to
Lateralis?
do.
2000 or 2001? Right around.
Oh, Lateralis is around. What was that? Good Lord, I don't remember.
Well, because the new metal thing, I think it's interesting because everyone thinks new metal, okay, it's that 2000s, but it's really not.
No, it's a
That
sound. It's a very particular sound. People try to lump it into a time pocket, and it doesn't. Oh God, jeez,
Tears.
Wow, that looked painful.
I mean, it's a sushi just swimming in my belly, all vegetables and such.
And that's my take on it. Like I know some people. To me, new metal is a certain particular sound. It is not defined by a time pocket, and I think that a lot of people do kind of lump that. Like some people will say new Tool is, and I disagree wholeheartedly.
No, of course not.
No.
Wholeheartedly.
I think that what to complete that thought was like the new metal. When I think new metal, it's that first Korn record, that second Korn record, that first Limp Bizkit record. But by the time 2000 hit, you're only a couple years away from screamo and emo becoming a thing. So this is truly a transitional time. But the first Disturbed record, all that stuff, like that which also is lumped into new. It's so stupid. Same thing with hair metal. Like these names are so freaking ridiculous.
It's a big blanket.
It's just where was that a second ago? The cough. Come on. You didn't feel it coming.
I was thrown up by you throwing up on yourself. Like,
oh, dude, I'm just fighting so hard not to just. But I think like a younger person listening, these blankets get thrown on things, and we're guilty of it too. We were discussing a couple of shows back, classic rock, and then hair metal, and then grunge. They're all it's just marketers giving something a name to sell it. Because this album doesn't sound like the second Limp Bizkit record,
Significant Other.
Around the same time as this, doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like Follow the Leader, which is around this time.
So it's funny you say that, because I had just looked that up because we were talking about when it was released. If White Pony's 2000, Follow the Leader was 98.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's wow. I thought that was like the same year.
Yeah,
like that was almost not competing.
No, that makes sense, because like Family Values kicked off in '98, and I remember that going to Family Values. What's up, Tom Pisani? Most post melodic hardcore. Yeah, for sure. Because there is a very melodic element to this album with these lows and highs, and balanced really well too. Not just the production value of it, but the way in which they all work together as a. And this is where you see the true growth. Is like they sound at this point in their career their best. They were working such a cohesive unit. There is such balance between the lows and highs they create musically as well as sonically with his voice. The screaming is done well. It's not done too much. It's truly like an actor taking the stage and trying different things. He wants pain. He brings out that scratchy voice, and then he immediately can bring it back to melodic. Is a perfectly artful album. It's great. I've listened to it. God, I don't know how many times.
That's good. It's too ethereal to be considered new metal. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's that? Hi,
yeah. Who said that?
Christina.
Yeah, right on.
Fantastic music school out in California, guys. If you want lessons the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Or
very good.
She's your girl.
It's so funny, James. You said ethereal earlier in the show as soon as we started. So that's perfect.
Yeah, it's really, really ambient. And I think one of my favorite things to come from this album that wasn't a Deftones thing was Team Sleep. Team Sleep is like super, super ridiculous. And I owe Rob for that, because I had no idea what was going on. Yes, we'll talk about that later.
He's pointing to you. You're above him. Get it?
Oh, I get it. Right, yeah.
Well,
you got like a Brady Bunch window going on here.
So yeah, but
I don't even know who I am.
But yeah, I think if you enjoyed White Pony for the ethereal elements and like for the more ambient element of it, check out Team Sleep too, because that's a completely different experience than Deftones. You don't get the metal edge of it, but you get all of the ambience, and it's really, really cool.
Dude, I tell you, like digging back through this, it truly took me back to that like senior year of high school, like listening like that back to school song, like that I remember being
Mini Maggot,
that character that he's speaking of. I'm cutting class and just being those things he's discussing, just being a complete schmuck. And it just pumped me up. And then I don't know if we want to get into like our favorite songs on here, but
well, let's do it because I think that's one common thread that we all have. That's one of my favorite tracks, which is not necessarily something that everybody knows that song. So Back to School, Mini Maggot. You're right, man. It's really summed up the sentiment of the trivialities of and trappings of high school, the clique atmosphere, and at times it could feel so suffocating and dangerous. It was lyrically it was perfect, and the aggression that came along with it. And here you get the feel of that new metal sound because you have a little bit more of that rapping style approach to his lyrics.
When he says like sipping vodka, like it's like like he's punching you with those words.
Yeah. It's like a rapid fire machine blast. And there's remnants in the song of the previous album. So it's honestly a nice kind of like opener to this album if you have this iteration of this album, but not many people, do. So it's interesting what could have been if this was the exact track listening.
Yeah. And it's on that note, it's funny because I didn't have the album in that order or in that arrangement, even having that song on it in the first place.
Right.
So the first song on this album, or as I had it, what did we talked about the first song, or for you guys, the second song, I guess.
Not called Katisha. That is a song by Orgy, but that's what I've called it for 21 years.
It's Fede Sierra.
Fede Sierra. Yep. Fede Sierra.
That to me, like coming off of Around the Fur and expecting them to do something a little bit different. I thought that song was an incredible opener. It's like, that's like a massive, massive, massive assault of a song. It's brutal.
Well, there's two singles that came off of this album, which we should note and the reason why I bring that up is because of Fede Sierra. So the two singles were Change and Back to School. But like, I always felt like this could have been the third single. This was such a high energy. I love the energy and how everything kind of drops to the backdrop, right? And then you just hear the guitars revving up, and then Chino comes in and explodes as the music explodes back in the forefront too. And it's just, again, it's just balance that they are able to achieve with this album is seen in every damn song. And it's awesome, man. And the marriage between the drums and the vocals. Can we talk about that on that song?
Please go for it.
Perfect. And so I'm going to say this. Abe is the secret weapon of the Deftones. I'm not downplaying any of the other players, but no one talks about this gentleman enough. He is a unique sound for this band. He's unique in the sense that Bonham's unique. He doesn't always play to the bass player. He'll play to the rhythm section. He'll play to the vocals. And I think that's what makes this a magnificent band and a magnificent album is because of Abe's ability to marry the vocals in this song alone. You're like, what? So if that was your opener, amazing, right? Second track, well, I'm in, just awesome.
On the subject of favorite songs, you guys both said Back to School? Or
yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Elite. I could rip the face off the biggest monster with that song in my ears.
Yeah, those would be my top three. So, I guess I have four. It's kind of Back to School.
It's the whole album, isn't it?
It really is. It's hard to pick because it's almost like it plays out like a concept. I know that there's not a
great one.
There's so many. There's so many damn ones. It depends on your mood too. Like I found myself listening to. We'll get to it a little bit later, but one of the ones that to me is kind of plays out like an interlude. So, I don't know. There's just so many.
Change is one of my least favorite songs. Am I next?
Me too. It was one of the ones that drew me in because it was the single. So I was like, oh, it's happening. There's a new album. This is going to be awesome.
Right.
And then it was like, after getting through the rest of it, it felt like it didn't have as much.
I didn't remember it being so far into the album either. Like,
it's
almost ready.
Second to last song.
Well, the only thing I do like about that song is it's I like.
No, sorry,
I missed the joke. What was the joke?
No, she's saying in a passage. Man, there's Knife Party, great songs.
Yes,
Knife Party is so good.
Yeah. The Passenger, exactly. Yeah,
Passenger. How could I forget that? That's one of my favorites too, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, which we kind of blasted over that, but
how could we leave that out? Hold on, let's. All right, finish your thought. Then we got to just hit on that because oh my god, yeah.
Well, I guess we didn't blast, but oh yeah, we did. Change comes out. Yeah, Passenger. Yeah. So I just like the way like there's that howling part at the beginning and the samples create this very atmospheric sound like you were talking about, kind of like this very moody album, but Chino echoes this howl toward the end of the song, and it kind of brings everything full circle. And it's like a good comedian that could circle back to his jokes. And I love when artists can either circle back to several tracks. You see that in the Downward Spiral with that overarching theme of that music that you hear in Closer, that segue.
The piano.
Yeah. So, and you hear it in the song, The Downward Spiral and elsewhere. Chino kind of echoes back the beginning howl of that song. And it really makes it a full. So while it may not be my favorite song, you have to appreciate the artistry of that, of making the vocalist bringing this all together with the music and making it a full bodied like wine. You're like, damn, this is
Ooh,
good.
I
So
like
it's
that.
satisfying. It is satisfying. So it may not be my favorite, but it doesn't leave you not feeling full, not satisfied. It just may not be your favorite. Like, no, it's a good wine. I'll finish it. I will not gripe about it. However, damn, respect.
I wonder if it's not if it's not for lack of quality of it. Quality is the wrong word. For liking it or disliking it, whatever the case may be, but it's far less energetic than some of the stuff that precedes it.
Yeah.
So it's tough to find, I guess, the same space for it because it doesn't hit as hard. It's a lot more pulled back.
Yeah, well, look what
Maybe that's
look
what
what
it's
it's
for.
coming up after too. Passenger, which is, I mean,
Passenger's
it's
so
a heavy
good.
hitting song in and of itself, and then you add Maynard from Tool to it, and you're like, what? It's hard to follow that.
I not to get too sidetracked. I sent you guys the
Yes.
live show of Haley Williams singing
Yes.
Maynard's parts. I think that was like one of the coolest things ever. Like I found out after watching that this is one of her favorite albums, and like the Deftones are one of her favorite bands, if not her favorite band.
You're
Wow.
a sucker for that female vocal, and she kills it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, Maynard doesn't do very many features on other songs, but if you take his work on this record, on the first Rage record, like, dude, he like brings the fire to whatever he's on. It's
Everything he
like,
touches is
wow.
just, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, look at the man's work ethic. You would expect nothing less, you know?
Yeah.
But that was fun. That I love that track. And you should probably post that. We should post that on the Record Talk video of that, because I mean, it just brings a different element. It's not who's better. It's just wow.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool to hear that song
Yeah.
across different vocalists. Like I'd like to hear with a different female, a different male vocalist across different genres and different art form. It's a very unique song. And I didn't realize until much later that most of the lyrics were written by Maynard, and that there were gaps left for Chino to fill in later, which.
Wow.
Yeah, I found that in an interview because I was rereading stuff, and he's like, I did the song with Maynard from Tool. Basically, I told him I wanted to create a scenario of being in a car and being taken for a drive when you don't really know what's going on. I want him to create a lot of imagery. He wrote the majority of the lyrics and left blanks for me to fill in. It seems like you're being held captive, but enjoy what's going on. And that is exactly captured in both the sonic feel of the song as well as lyrically. You're like, damn, well done, boys. That was incredible. Yeah.
dude, James, you want to go into the elite conversation we were having?
So Rob and I were talking about the
We
album.
discovered the fourth dimension, just in case you didn't know. So get ready.
So this is kind of my thing. I remember the first time I listened to the album, I was in my bedroom and I was listening through it and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And Elite came on and I was like, I know this rhythm from somewhere and I don't know where it is. And I kept listening to the album over and over and over again for days and weeks on end after it came out. And I was so into it. And one day it hit me, and it had to have been in like the 2000s. So I've been hanging on to this for this long and I never told anyone. But has anybody watched Mr. Rogers?
Of course. Screw up on Mr. Rogers. Are you kidding me?
Do you know the theme for the trolley?
Oh my God.
And then I'm talking to Rob about it, and I tell him that I had this this revelation all these years ago that the Elite, the rhythm section for Elite is the trolley theme. And he's like, well, what was your favorite song off of Adrenaline? Engine Number 9.
Now, Elite to me sounds like Engine Number 9, and an engine is a train, like a trolley.
Yeah. Triforce.
But like, I've been hanging on to that nugget, feeling like there would never be a use for it for the rest of my life. And
Oh my God.
here we are 21 years later, and Elite is the Mr. Rogers trolley theme.
Holy crap! Now I gotta play those back to back. This is
I
like
wanted to
remember
get
that Pink Floyd, like Pink Floyd playing Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
and now I gotta play Mr. Rogers.
I played it for Melissa the other day. I went back and forth, and she was eating yogurt, and she's sitting there, and she goes like this, like her eyes just like got like doubled in size. She's like, "Wow."
That's incredible.
Oh, hey, you know
Wow.
what I just remembered we should be doing? Speaking of Melissa, happy birthday, belated Melissa. Happy belated birthday, Brian.
Oh, thank you,
Couple
sir.
days ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right on. Thank
50
you, sir.
years old on Monday. Can you believe it?
I'm only a year behind him. Jeez.
Brian, I got to tell you a story real fast. Quick tangent. So I do these cameo things, right? You know, they already like you pay the people to give you wishes.
Yep.
So I paid Scott Ian to wish you a happy 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. and they refunded my money. But
Oh man!
I was going to debut it here, and it would have been.
Oh man!
third.
Scott Ian.
I'm sorry, Scott Ian dropped the ball.
It's all good. It's all good. I still
Ah.
love that man so much. Scott Ian's the best.
Can you imagine? Happy 50th birthday. He doesn't know, you know.
That would have been incredible.
Dude, he's
Oh,
in on
man.
the joke. He doesn't know it.
Oh my god, that'd be great for him when I'm 52. Because I'm not 50, damn it. Well, it was Melissa's birthday. Happy birthday, Melissa.
Melissa's birthday was this past Saturday.
Yeah, it's a couple days.
Right.
ago.
Right
It was-
on.
It was the 6th, yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Great people are made in February. Crap.
That's what I hear. My dad's birthday actually was yesterday.
No kidding.
Well then,
Yeah.
happy birthday too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So there is something I want to talk about on this album, and it was Brian and I mentioned it briefly today, earlier this morning,
When I
and it
was
just
sleeping.
seemed. Say what? While you were sleeping? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably when you were still sleeping. Now that I think about it, because it was probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Today's Cliff Burton's birthday,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it just seemed so oddly serendipitous. Is that
Dude,
the word?
Dylan Rackley, you win the prize, brother.
Oh no!
What did he say? Happy 73rd birthday, Brian. Dylan, I used to like our private DMs. I used to like sharing
Yo,
things
the
with
funny
you.
part
You're
is,
dead.
like, out of the four of us, like
Dead to
no
me.
BS, Brian is legit old enough to be your dad. So that's just
But that's good.
Oh,
Dylan's in on the ball busting now. Great.
Yeah, I like it. I love football busting. 41 though. God damn it.
But we were talking about it. It seemed like almost a little serendipitous in like a really sad way. You know,
Yeah.
Cliff Burton's birthday is today, and Metallica lost him, and Deftones lost Chi.
Yeah.
I going back listening through this, there's like a spaghetti western kind of bass sound in RX Queen, and every time I get to it, I'm like, oh man, that's such a smart choice, and it's so cool. And I feel like he's a big loss. Like the Deftones albums that came after his passing had a good energy to them, and some of them I liked more than others. Some of them I feel like if they were experimental and I didn't get it, that might have been part of it. I just didn't get the point of what they were trying to accomplish at any given time after him. But he brought something really, really cool to the band. It's a really, really sad loss.
It is. It absolutely is. And what a great way to kind of immortalize them. It's so funny that you said spaghetti western, because in my notes here it says RX Queen. I go more of an industrial feel to it, and then I wrote, I love the way the bass slithers its way into the song and it accompanies Chino's voice so well. It slithers in like a snake in a western, man. That's so great. Wow. Triforce.
But it's
our little Zelda thing today.
It's like that kind of like exploitation film kind of soundtrack, kind of spaghetti western kind of a thing that is it with the bass sound that's like probably like a cheaper end kind of bass with a lot of tremolo on it and a lot of like mid-range. It's a very quintessential type of sound for that type of thing.
Well, on the topic of spaghetti westerns and horrific B movies, which I no doubt this will be a classic, but I think it was today, but if not, it was definitely this week. Danzig released his trailer for Death Rider in the House of Vampires. Did you guys watch it? That's a spaghetti western horror splatterfest. With Devin Sawa.
Go ahead, Rob.
So I saw the headline and I was like, I don't even need to click on this. I know.
Fantastic. Danny Trejo's in it. Eli Roth. I mean, it's just gonna be. Woo.
As soon as I saw Danny Trejo's name, I was like, all right, well, here we go.
I'm in. You put Danny Trejo in anything, I'm in. Could be a romantic comedy. I don't give a damn. I'm in.
Oh, you would be great in a romantic
romantic comedy. I'm first in line. How could you mess that up?
Oh my god. His
he's like
tattoo.
He's like an accidentally funny guy. So can you imagine how funny he would be in a romantic comedy? He'd be like the star of it. Even if he was just the comic relief, the movie is a success because of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I want him to be like the girl that the dude is going after, or the girl is going after, like he's the one they're trying to catch, and like,
he's the love interest. Yeah.
What if it's like a vice versa kind of like body switch thing where he's accidentally the girl and the girl is Danny Trejo?
Even better.
13 going on 30 style, but with Danny Trejo,
there you go. Exactly.
Violent.
And just another thing on this record that I think is worth pointing out or of note. I think that. Forgive me if this comes across incorrect, though I don't care. I feel like this album is where they all are playing their part to their fullest.
Yeah.
This is an album where the parts create something truly unique, where everyone is doing something that if someone else was there, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
And like there's Swerve City, that's after Chi, or he's in the coma, but he's not playing on that. Like I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that record, and there's stuff later on, but just there's something happening here, you know. Stefan's not playing a 9-string guitar and only using the high strings, or talking about flat earth or nonsense. Like it's just a magical moment in time where a bunch of guys made a great record that I think, you know, you think 21 years ago, I mean, that's
It stands up today.
That's
if
a
it could have
long
been
time.
released today.
I think what you said a couple weeks back, I think it was Nevermind, that you had said you can listen back to 10 and it still sounds like current production.
right.
And I think that's kind of the same thing for this. Is it still sounds current? It's really really pegged in terms of like the levels. This is a very very loud record, and that wasn't really a thing until a couple of years after this became a thing. To that really really high compression, like punching the board.
Yeah.
And if
so
you guys, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
Late last year, a 20th anniversary came out of this, which ironically did not have, no, it did not have I'm looking at it now. Back to School is not on it. So it's the original track order.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're trying to do there, but it has a whole second disc full of remixes, and it's some are pretty crap, but some are interesting to hear, like these different like electronic takes on these songs. Because again, it's already, like I think as Christina had said earlier, it's ethereal. So this like not like dance remixes per se, but just electronic.
Yeah.
If you've heard any of it, it's definitely worth checking out.
I've heard a couple. Some of them, like you said, some of them are just like, and some of them are really good. I almost actually tagged one of them on one of the posts we did, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna put the passenger on there. Oh well.
Can't go wrong with that. It's
No,
pretty much perfect.
I also sometimes I'll put my favorite on there, and I'm just selfish. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. But other times I'm like, well, I try to think about the greater audience. I'm like, well, if this will pull somebody in that doesn't know the Deftones, I think this is the song, the hook that will do that. So a lot of times I try to keep the greater viewpoint in mind, but sometimes if it's like a band that I'm just like so stoked about, I'm like, nah, I'm doing what I want. Blind Melon, I'm putting what I want on there. I don't care.
Hey, check this out. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Brian.
Yeah, I got one more thing to say about this, and then we could
Okay, no, you can definitely finish. I'm reading the little blurb here that iTunes provides you with it.
Oh, go for it, yeah.
And White Pony effectively and I want to give credit to who it's from, but I can't seem to see who the author is, so I apologize for not citing my work.
You grovel now.
Like high school all over again.
Chicken scratch.
By 2000's White Pony, they had effectively seized the scene, drowning in its rage and recklessness in a moody, muddy stew of experimental metal, shoegaze, post-hardcore, and ambient noise. So in that blurb, it has the post-hardcore thing Tom said. It has the ethereal ambient thing Christina said. So, I mean, we're all kind of hitting on what this is. The shoegaze element, I think, is important because we left it out, but that's kind of that, like, all the effects and, like, just the washes of sound.
Yeah.
So it's funny because there's a lot of things on here that me in general is not something I would listen to recreationally, but it just works together in this perfect, like, you know, melting pot of delicious soup.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. I want soup, damn it.
Like 13 degrees here today, so soup is.
Yeah. It's freaking cold, man.
Brian starts singing Blind Melon on cue. You start saying, come on.
No.
Down.
Let you down.
All right. So let's anyone else at closing? You're going to say something.
Yeah. So the song, it hit me in Street Carp, the song Street Carp. It's at this point, I realized that, you know, we talked about the connection with Pink Floyd. You know, 30 Seconds to Mars. I don't know how many you guys are familiar with 30 Seconds to Mars. Jared,
yeah, I like their music.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't realize it till listening to this again, and I was like, because I just watched a live concert by them because I just wanted to see what they were up to recently, and their sound, 30 Seconds from Mars sound, you could hear is clearly influenced by this album. Like, tell me you don't hear this album in specifically their album, their second album, Beautiful Lie.
Yeah.
It's like there's a direct influence there, like both in Jared Little's style of singing, musically, the kind of the industrial element, kind of like that, you know, electronic element that they bring to this album full force. And I was like, oh wow, Like, you can't tell me you're not directly influenced by this band.
Yeah, a lot of the production, a lot of the choices, like the scapes, very much
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's great. I think anyone who's a fan of music should give it a taste, give it a try. You know, something that I hope is happening is anyone who's following us or following us individually on Facebook or the YouTube Facebook page or YouTube or Instagram, as we just individually hype this up. We hope that if you're a fan of the album and you're tuning in, sporadically throughout this to relive it with us, that's awesome, because that's what we're doing. But
Yeah.
if you're maybe unfamiliar with something we're going to talk about, or just a little bit younger and it's before your time, because it's easy to forget that 21 years ago, there's a 2 generations of musicians that this is before they're born, which is don't even get started on that. So please, like, even if you just like dig one of the things on Instagram, you're like, that's cool, like check it out. You guys, we live in a time where, as dirty it is to say, music is free. It's absurdly accessible. Go on YouTube and just find a playlist and check it out, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and then buy the album.
That's what I always do. Yeah, as soon as I start loving something, I'm like, I gotta support the artist, and I can go buy it,
Now,
sure.
if you want to go see them live and hope it's going to be great, flip a coin.
Yeah, I
It is
can't
hit or
really
miss.
argue with that too much. I've only seen that, for being arguably one of my favorite bands, I've only seen them live a handful of times. Now, am I lying? I think I might have seen them more than I remember. It's just been so long. It's hard for me to remember.
First time I saw them was on this tour. It was them and Incubus at Roseland or Hammerstein. I borrowed money from Brian Rosenblum to pay for the ticket. I think I paid him back.
The first time I saw them was at Ozfest, and I saw them, I think, at another Ozfest. And then I remember I saw them twice at Hammerstein.
Summer Sanitarium too. They were there. They opened it up.
Oh, I don't even.
Yeah.
Which that was a good find that you sent earlier, Rob, with the Metallica covering them.
I didn't get a chance to watch that. I have to watch that.
It's Kirk playing the riff and Rob singing it.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was weird.
So it's a recent thing because Rob is in it. Well,
it's when they do that doodle, like they would just do a little jam at every show, like Kirk and Robert jam, and it's weird. It's weird.
It is.
But I'm
Rob,
happy it exists, and I'm happy we get to see it.
For sure.
Rob, that whole thing that you said, I think it was last week, that you got the call from, you got a phone call from Doug Wimbish, and you're like, I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was going somewhere with this. Old age. Brian's not turning 51. I am.
Yeah. I feel good.
Is it that? Is that what you want to talk about?
No, it was that's what it was. It was a text from you a couple months back that it's probably maybe a couple of years back at this point, which makes it even more horrifying that Robert Trujillo was in Metallica longer than Jason Newsted when you sent that message.
Yeah. Crazy. A lot longer.
That's where I was going
Years
with this.
Longer.
Whew. That's a horrifying thought to me. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it had to be pretty recent because Robert's in the band. But in the scheme of things, I guess that could have been like 10 freaking years ago at this point.
Right.
Jesus.
Time is a fickle thing.
That was an auditory swallow.
It really was.
Let me see
It
if I
sounded
can-
rough.
No,
You
let's see.
swallowing a cup full of marbles? Jeez.
I have hard water in Arizona.
It sounded
Oh, yeah?
like rocks. Sand.
I am
Sand.
sorry.
What water here? Sam!
So, what else are we talking about, guys?
Well,
Wow!
If
Sound
no
like
one
the
else
guy
is
from
making
The
sense,
Simpsons.
I
Don't put Fred Durst on here again. Once was enough.
got all
please.
my new metal ones. I love them. All right, and moving on to our next segment.
I think you should leave all those there. I mean, like the Shove It one is kind of, but the Disturbed one, that's very useful.
It's
Oh,
staying. Yeah. Some
Oh,
of them, keep the excellent one.
Excellent!
Because some of that stuff is just, you can't go wrong with it.
No, you cannot.
I found out, sorry, I'm going to dislodge this for a second. I found out earlier today, there's a Circle K gas station in Tempe, Arizona, that is one of the filming locations for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Or strange
And-
things afoot.
Huh?
Or strange things afoot. The Circle K.
Strange
Is that what they say in the movie?
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
It's been so long for me, I don't remember.
Wow.
But apparently the gas station has never been updated or changed. The phone booth is still there, and like it's like
What?
a pilgrimage site. So I might just try
Oh!
and find the Circle K in Tempe, and it's literally a half hour away.
Oh my God, when we go visit, that's definitely something we're gonna go see. We're all taking
Absolutely.
a picture there. We're gonna
But
cram in.
apparently it's like a pilgrimage thing that everybody goes there on the release date of the first movie.
Right on. That's awesome. I have not seen the new one yet. I have to see that new one.
See it so we can talk about it, please.
I know. Yeah, I'll rent it.
All right.
Woo!
So wait, we need to what's our transition one? Let's broaden our minds.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
I love that.
It bothers me because I want to hear the next part of it. And
Yeah.
I want to hear the Prince song.
So something to discuss. I think we were discussing. We always trying to add other things. I think I read a ton of books. I think you guys are you James. You got all those things behind you there. Some of them are books. Brian, I know you're a well-read individual.
Oh, there's books
But-
all around me. I'd show you if my room wasn't a mess in here.
Something I collect in book format are these large format coffee table books. And they're like reference books or art books or picture books, but I think they're just a great resource to be able to see and touch and feel. You look, I want to see like Jimmy Page's guitar, and your friends don't invite you to go see it in New York City. So you have to look it up on Instagram, or you have to look at it.
Right?
Such
That
a
was just like,
You could just
I gotta
have
run to there. Ah.
this book, which is Jimmy Page anthology, and it's just
Really was a stretch. Look at him. Look at him.
I'm not stretching. I'm good.
Yeah.
But just I can't really show you the pictures, but it's all this stuff and just from his whole history of the career,
Oh wow.
rare pictures and guitars and things. So
It's- Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
Is it a dedicated like guitar history, or it's just like his history through music, through his career, like an autobiography, or just like a legacy of his guitars kind of a thing?
Jimmy Page is sharing hundreds of items from his private collection, including costume, stage equipment, instruments, memorabilia that have had a profound impact on rock history.
Nice. Very
Cool.
cool.
I don't know how far it goes also, but this one was just fantastic. I have the Geddy Lee bass book, which is really cool.
Ooh.
I've looked through that one. That one's incredible.
The Led Zeppelin one, if you guys have seen that one,
Yes.
that's incredible. But then this one, me being an 80s rock guy,
Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
I got to be careful flipping through it because there's lots of boobies in here, but it's Decade That Rocked by
Oh, nice.
Price. So he was just a famous, ridiculous photographer, and there's so many unreleased pictures. Like there's Ozzy just being ridiculous.
Oh whoa.
Oh wow.
And there's like stuff that pulls out. Hold on,
Like kind of like a centerfold type of deal.
there's centerfold. I mean, come on.
Nice.
There's that handsome gentleman.
Oh snap! Look at that.
So I just love stuff like, and this, like, it's annoying to me when they're just pictures, but this one has like little excerpts about, where the picture was taken and what was the shoot. Look at Sebastian Bach being a woman.
Sexy
Look at
chick.
Look at that hair.
I don't care the gender. That's just an attractive, human.
person. There you go.
Yeah.
People will pay for that hair.
Stuff like this, man. I just think it's so cool, and it's just a great reference. And you can get a lot of this stuff on Amazon. Like this is like a $50 book, but you get it used on Amazon like $20. What I do?
Did you really?
No, I bought this when it came out because I'm crazy.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, really?
Hypothetically, look at it, fucking David Lee Roth. It's so cool.
Oh, damn.
That is really awesome.
Tommy Lee.
Oh my gosh.
Who was the photographer here?
Mark Weiss.
Mark Weiss.
Yeah,
Hmm.
check it out. I'll send you guys. Well, link it up on Amazon because
Yeah.
now we're Amazon affiliates, guys. So if you want anyone to buy anything, just use our affiliate code.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Look at you expanding. Yeah, tag that on the Facebook page. It's good for people to kind of see that stuff.
Yeah,
Another
I
form
think-
of art to appreciate. Some of these photographers, like Danny, who does a lot of the pictures with like Blind Melon and various other bands. I mean, just throughout the decades, just some of those photos. Pearl Jam, he works with Pearl Jam a great deal.
Mhm.
Some of the photos they catch, those action shots, are just magic, just pure magic.
It's a moment in time that
But it takes a special photographer, it takes a special artist, and a special eye to capture the true energy and what's going on at a live show, and not just because anybody can take a picture and like I've taken a picture at live shows. Like, man, it's not the same. Is that Sam Kinison?
Kinison with Tony Katane.
Oh my gosh.
Tony Katane.
Oh, it's Jessica Hahn. Sorry. I messed up my 80s sex symbol. But you got stuff like this too you're going to point out too.
Yeah,
right?
so just recently for my birthday, my mom sent me, this is kind of cool. I love I think there's beauty in like dilapidation, so there's beauty in things that are falling apart. And she got me this thing called Empire State of Decay, Discarded New York by Alex I think it said Galino is how you say her last name. But it's cool. I love history. I'm a big history buff. So it's got just enough of the excerpts, or as Rob said, experts in here about like different things, different abandoned asylums. But like it's just got great pictures. And again, I love abandoned places, like just some of these shots of like abandoned places, famous places in New York.
That's
you know,
incredible.
yeah.
Letchworth in there?
What's that?
Letchworth?
Yeah. Not Letchworth. I thought toward the end, I thought I saw something that looked just like Letchworth, but it wasn't. The name of the I forget the name of the asylum that the mental institution that Geraldo made famous back in the 70s that showed and really changed mental health care, making some changes about the way people are treated. Unfortunately, it has pictures of that place, and you know, what was it, Bellevue? Was it Bellevue? Bellevue, right? Yeah,
I think it should be, but I don't know if that's right.
I don't know if that's right either. But yeah,
I'm
great.
sure
And I
bad
just
things
love
happen
history.
there too.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah. But I love New York history too, just showing the New York love where I'm from. So it's a cool book. She's a nice local artist, and she captures some really cool. You know what's cool? One of the pictures, you go to the Catskill game farm. Remember that? I don't know if you guys. I grew up going there.
Have you seen what that is now?
Not now, but in those pictures, I see what it turned into. It's like, whoa. One of the pictures is a can. I swear, a Heinz can of macaroni and cheese. I didn't even know that existed. I'm a child of the
That's worth
80s.
the price of admission.
Right? I'm like, wow. That's worth the black mold that you breathed in to take that picture.
So this is why we're friends. I mean, if you guys know me, remember back in the day, what would be my favorite thing to stop? If there's one of those blue signs, I'll run across 7 lanes of traffic. I want to know what it says.
Oh, God, it's so great.
Sometimes I did.
Yeah.
But Catskill Game Farm, I was looking into it recently because I love stuff like that. Just the whole Catskills in general. Like we used to play every Thanksgiving at a place called Honors Haven, and that's sistered next to the property where a place called the Nevele was, which is one of those big Catskill
beautiful area,
but it's just in decay.
It is.
You could look. So anyway, Catskill Game Farm, someone bought it a couple years ago, turned it into a hotel where the giraffe, look it up online. We should link up to that too, just if anyone cares about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this down.
Where the giraffes, they're like habitat, they turn into a hotel, and you can camp on the grounds, and like a lot of the structures are still standing. But I'm like, wow, what a brilliant way to take nerds like us who are like, ooh, things happened here. We can sleep there. Like, come on. I love stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
So I got that. And then I'm gonna go back to this one too. Like you had got me this box set a couple of years back, the White Zombie. It came from New York City, vinyl box set, and it comes with this really amazing tabletop book. It's just phenomenal. Pictures in here, and it's got a lot of history. So there's a lot to read. There's a lot to take in visually, like just some killer early.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So you get to see like how much thought they put into like the drum kit and how much art. I mean, they were truly an art noise band in New York City when they came out. But like just really bold colors that captured the band and their heyday, and before their heyday rather. Excuse me. But yeah, just cool like full spread pictures. Beautifully written by most of the members of the band, even like some of the past members that most people don't even know. This is the way to do a box set. So when the band broke up and they released that Let Sleeping Corpse Lie bull crap, that was hot garbage, not worth your time and or money.
Tell us what you really think.
Hold on, Mike, I didn't hear you. What?
100% garbage. It's just basically just go buy the albums they're from, because like it didn't offer anything else. This did. It repressed all the albums. Fantastic packaging, and then you got this monster book that was just like, yeah. So that's the way to do it. Numbered too, so
Nice.
hot commodity.
Dude, there's certain sounds you make out of excitement, which I think we're having a good episode when Brian makes that sound.
What's the sound? I don't even know.
I'm gonna tell you off air, so I don't want to ruin it, but
Okay.
genuine raw enthusiasm, and it's one of my favorite things in the world.
So a couple things that I have. I have a whole bunch of these, probably like you guys do, I imagine, that I keep rotating on my coffee tables. on my coffee table right now is it's like a visual compendium for Ghostbusters 1 and 2. That's like, it's got tons of like, you open it and there'll be like a transparency that you put on top of a page and it explains things that are going on in it.
What?
There's like sticky notes, like Post-its all throughout the entire thing. Behind the sets photos that you never would have seen, and like liner
Why
notes
am
from
I
Dan
dripping with
Aykroyd's.
goo?
Exactly. Like liner notes from Dan Aykroyd's original notes.
Wow.
That like he knew a lot about the science that was theoretically going into the films. So like he explained everything, like how a proton pack would work, how a trap would work, how the containment system would work. And
Wow.
like seeing all of this, how does he know all this? It could be complete crap, but it's really, really impressive. And it sold me on it. Like, oh, that's how you would do that. So that's what's on my coffee table right now. But
Ooh, wait,
in
I'm gonna
here,
interrupt you for 1 second. I apologize.
yeah.
I crapped on the girl Ghostbuster movie forever.
I liked it. I
was
own it.
wrong. It was fantastic.
I
had
love
never
it.
seen it. I prejudged. I apologize. Continue.
All right, now I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, watch it. It's good.
You have
I
to
haven't
think of
seen
what
it.
it is.
I'll
watch
It's a different parallel universe. It's awesome. It's fun. It's a good story. I every one of those females are amazing, either comedians or comedic actors. All of them.
It's
Kristen Wiig.
raunchier than I thought it would be. Too.
It's good. And then you have what's his name? Chris who plays Thor. It's through and through. It's
Chris
a great
Hemsworth?
movie. I own it. We found it and it was dirt cheap. And I was like, oh, we're buying this. I have all the Ghostbusters. I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out.
I can't wait
They
for the
pushed
new one.
back until forever again because of COVID, man.
Yeah. Going back to what you're saying about Dan Aykroyd, he really, I forget where, I don't know. One of them was with the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on something else too. Like he really does know his stuff. Like he is such a huge nerd of like the occult. Like his character is the character in that movie. Like his character,
he wrote
is in
himself. It
real
was
life.
easy enough.
Like it's very particular why he chose that crystal skull for his drinks because he's really big into the whole crystal skulls of like the Mayan culture and various other cultures. So yeah, he's a big time nerd. Dude, do you have the thing to share with us to see what it looks like?
Yeah, where is it?
It's in the.
Damn
the
it,
other room.
James!
I'm sorry. If you want, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. I had it
Lord!
myself, but I'll be right
What
back.
a build-up! What a build-up!
Brian,
And
carry the show. We'll be right back.
I'll just carry the show. Let's see what else I have for show and tell for you guys here. I don't know. Oh man, I don't have anything in arm's reach. Damn it! Oh, you know what's a funny book, guys? Here you go. The Truth About Chuck Norris. There you go. 400 facts about the world's greatest human. The unauthorized parody.
There's one any music nerd should.
Oh.
So this is part of a set. There's this and then a vintage rarities. Look how freaking thick this thing is. And the other one is just
Wow.
listen to it. It's heavy.
Your mic
And-
moved.
Yeah. But like it's all these incredible musicians talking about the one pedal that meant everything.
Wow.
It's
That's
gorgeous.
an Ibanez flanger right there. That's what that is.
Sure is.
I was gonna say if that is a giant square book, it's a great, visually it's eye catching. But if it doesn't fill an entire picture of the pedal, then that is a wasted book. But that is amazing.
It's just incredible.
It's like you could step on
MXR
it.
Phase 100 or
This is a distortion plus Steve Vai talking about it. Vernon Reed talking about the rat. Just people talking. I mean, I could literally.
I have
put
to get
it
that.
in Thread and ingest it.
Oh,
But get it from the website because if you get it from the website, you get a discount if you buy the box set with the other book, which is like the vintage rare stuff. Anyway, let's see Ghostbusters.
yeah.
Okay, so
Right? Yeah.
there it is.
Oh yeah.
I got this for
I got a
Christmas.
soundtrack on vinyl. BTW.
There's a story with Ray Parker Jr. that he wrote the song the day that they recorded it. He told like everybody at the label and everything. He's like, I got this. He had nothing. He wrote this. He wrote the lyrics like on the spot. Just like a
Took
whole
it
bunch
from
of
Huey
crap
Lewis in the
takes.
news.
Unreal. But anyway, so that's
It's the
that.
other way around, isn't it? Huey Lewis ripped him, didn't he?
Oh, wait. I
Can't
can't remember.
So
Somebody ripped somebody.
He talks about it in the Hired Gun movie, which is fantastic on Prime.
So here's something like what I was talking about, that this is a literal, come on, work with me here. It's like a Post-it note stuck to one of the pages. I'd like to try and find one of the pages that has a transparency for you guys.
That's so cool.
There's one of my
never-
favorite.
Heard of that? I don't know that was a thing.
Neither have I.
Yeah, there's this whole section on how the proton pack works.
Oh,
Like with all of the science and all of the technology that would have gone into making it work. There's there's the PKE meter. this is one of my favorite shots, or like two of my favorite shots in the book, because you don't really get to see it that often. A close-up of Gozer.
Wow.
And this picture of her with all the guys, just like a behind-the-scenes photo, I think is amazing.
I love that stuff.
And I forgot she was in. The actress was in the remake of House on Haunted Hill. She was one of the dead nurses in one of the lab rooms.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go back and watch it, you'll be like, oh, that's Gozer. Now that I mentioned it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, wow. Now, is
But,
this book still in print or is it out of print now?
It's so I asked for this specifically because there was another book that was in print that had even more detail in it. It had the entire script as written with all of the liner notes in it. And that was no longer available, or if you could find it, it was a couple $100s. This was the next best thing, and it was a whole lot more inexpensive.
Nice.
But it's absolutely fantastic. It's really, really great to thumb through, and like any page you open, you'll inevitably find yourself reading, subsequent pages until you have to do something else.
Dude, that's why I love these type books, is because like no one's going to sit here on the can and just read the whole book. It's not going to happen. But
it's got so much stuff from the real Ghostbusters in it too.
I love that. I love it.
So good. Do you guys see the real Ghostbusters is starting to air on YouTube?
The cartoon?
Yeah.
It's on Tubi. It was on Tubi for a while too.
They're starting to air it, I believe, remastered on YouTube for free.
Oh.
The best episode of that show was the one where they referenced the movie.
The toys they made, the toy line during the 80s for those were cool. Like the eyes bugging out, the head, the transforming.
Yeah.
Remember like the backer and he'd bend over and his back would come up the foot.
Yeah. I mean, there's just killer. There's some pretty cool toys, but remember Supernaturals with the holograms in the chest and everything? There's some pretty killer toys in the 80s, man.
And what I was originally going to show you, because that was on the table, and that's where it's living for the moment. If anybody knows me, they know I like cars a lot. And there's a company called Haynes that makes
underwear.
Yes, but there's a company called Haynes that makes manuals for every day. Like if you have a Toyota Prius and you need to learn how to fix it, you buy the Haynes manual, and it tells you all of the factory notes for how to take that car apart and put it back together. And this is a Haynes book for the McLaren MP44 race car that Ayrton Senna drove. And it has all of like the history, like what happened along the way, like what problems they had with it, and like what little like zip tie fixes they used to get the car across the finish line during some races. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. There's so much history in it. Nice. And just things that I never knew were like a thing, like the things you deal with on your day-to-day basis at your job that you think like, man, I bet people that have like great careers don't deal with this crap. Like there's still some guy that says, I need a new set of gears for this transmission. Well, why? They cost a lot. Like, are we going to win a race if we give you these? All right, well, I'll give you $100,000 to make your new gear set. Well, I need 150. Well, this is what I can give you until we win a race. That kind of thing. So it's like seeing people ask for technology and then have to answer for it somehow. It's very, very cool read.
Interesting. Very cool, man. Wow, some good books.
This stuff is fun, man. Like, maybe what we can do is we can compile a list and then throw the links for all this stuff, because I want to start doing that, like being able to link people. How you like the record? Buy it, click here, blah, 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 all that. So I want to start working on that.
Let's work on that. Yeah, see, there's that growth we started the episode with and we're closing it out with, man. Just always looking to grow.
We're making growth, baby. All right, so what's next week on Record Talk, boys?
Lerv songs. Top 5 Lerv songs. Figured a little ode to the wacky holiday of Valentine's Day. They could be not just professing love. It could be love lost, unrequited love. God damn it, I hate love. So we're each going to surprise each other with 5 songs with the theme of being love. And it could be any genre. It could be rock, it could be hip hop, it could be classic rock and roll, whatever. Doesn't matter.
How you guys doing on your lists? You got them made up already or no?
I have a huge list and I need to chisel it down to 5. Because I figure if we each do 5, right, it's about 15 songs, and we could still have time for our topic. But I think if we did above 5, it may not. Or do you think 7?
Great, yeah.
5, yeah, right? All right.
I have 2 songs that are vying for the 5th spot, and I don't know which one is going to make it through, because if I pick one of them, I feel like my list takes a turn to one direction versus the other.
That's okay.
I don't know.
I only have 2 songs decided so far. I got to do some work.
But I'm willing to bet that
all of us are gonna, one of them. I think we're all going to have one song.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have one that matches Robin. I'll have one that matches you as well.
Dylan says we need to do an instrumental album. I got a few. So do I.
Me too. I have many. Oof.
Me too. I don't want to be left out.
Oh man, the number of times I've had Rob in my car while I'm listening to like Aphex Twin or something like that, he's like, "What is this?"
Oh my god!
But you know what? I feel like that music I would appreciate more now because I have a greater appreciation like for noise and things. Like I've been listening to there's this guy Richard Devine. Follow him on Instagram. He just analog synth wizard, and he was on a chat today on Clubhouse. It was him and Deadmau5 and all these like to talk.
That'd be great.
Like nerdy stuff, but like if nerdy like was just like the cover, they're on like page 7,000 of the book. Like it was like sound is coming at you in giant sheets and you can't even process the words they're using. It was just inspiring.
Oh man!
But that's our show, gentlemen, ladies and boys and girls and everyone. I was gonna say cool. So we hope to see you all next week, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
Ryan, you got anything you need to plug for this week?
To plug, you know what? Me and James were talking about this. I think you were in this conversation. You guys should check out. I think who is it by? It's by Pandemoni Toys. It's they make this thing called Alternation. There's these toys that we got from my sons. They're like human animal hybrids, and apparently they come with it's like a kind of multimedia approach. So these really well made. I should have brought the toy down. Articulated toys, and they have a webisode series on YouTube you can watch. I think there's only like a total of 12 minutes worth of them. And they come with this graphic novel style comic book, which is really cool. It's just great storyline. I just watched the cartoon with the kids and I'm like, oh, awesome. So we went down the rabbit hole and they showed you like how the toys work. And we just discovered a whole new thing that this toy does that like it changes color in hot water. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, guys, quick, kitchen now, let's go. And we're all losing our mind in the kitchen. And it's just like, they're cool toys. Alternation. Yeah, check them out. They're cool.
Nice.
I'm going to share there.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, you want me to share it? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's not in there. It's just the box. I kept the box. But he's like kind of like well articulated. They all do something fun. Like the frog will flip. My son has the chameleon that changes color because like in the cartoon, he like could turn invisible because he's a chameleon. But if you put him in the water, it turns clear. And I'm like, and this thing is a highly colored thing. So it's cool. It's got a tongue that comes out. The eyes move with the tongue comes out. It's phenomenal. Just like really well made.
If you put it in water, it becomes transparent.
Yeah. So it says, if it gets heat, so if your hands are hot enough, it will happen. So everything but his tail will turn transparent and his clothes won't. But like his arms, his head, he comes with like really cool weapons. It's just they've thought of everything. Each one of them has like a special kind of multiple special features, whether it's the
awesome.
accessories they come with. Yeah, it's cool. Check it out. Good comic.
It's freaking sick.
Yeah,
Nice.
I love comic books. So
You got a plug, James?
No, nothing too crazy this week.
All right.
I can say if you have a PlayStation 4 and you're suffering with Cyberpunk 2077, put a solid state hard drive in it. Holy crap.
oh yeah. Game
Yeah, or
changer.
you can stick it in your PlayStation 5. That's cool too.
Well, not everybody can do that, Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you have a PlayStation 5, Rob?
Can I put it in my Xbox Series or no?
It wouldn't matter. Apparently, it runs the worst on the Xbox Series One X.
PS5 is a monster. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
You can't get them. Like they're just
It's impossible.
But,
I checked it out going from mine when it had the original hard drive in it to checking it out at Devin's place on his PS5. It's like there are no loading screens. It's absolutely preposterous how fast it is.
It's interesting because like on the PS5, I play a lot of PS5 games, but I have loaded up some of the PS4 games, and it's just absurd what it's doing to them. Whereas like on the Xbox Series X, there aren't any games for it yet. So I'm like playing Xbox One games on it, but it doesn't feel next gen the way that PS5 does. So one day, but
I hope. I'm planning. I'll probably buy in when they release the slim versions or the pro versions.
Well, because they're gonna have you see that they just got the patent on the buttons on the back of the PS5 controller too.
Yeah, just saw that
coming. So yeah,
but the way the controller feels, the triggers and stuff like that. I'm sorry, we completely like went on a tangent, but the triggers like the PS5 genuinely feels like a new experience in gaming.
Yeah,
it's
I've been playing Call of Duty on it, like different guns.
The guns all feel different.
Insane.
It's ridiculous.
Wow, that's fun.
I need to start playing online so I can play against you guys. And then me and Brian, we're gonna have whatchamacallit, Smash Brothers tournament next weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, good.
You
All right.
guys stream that on Twitch.
Yeah. No, Rackley, I cannot give you a free PS5 with 1 year of lessons. I apologize. But your pedal will be there Friday with your T-shirt, one of one, a limited print that I didn't turn into a full line. So you have a T-shirt. No one has, dude.
And
Nice.
If the nut on the low B string,
Where are you
Dylan,
going with
is
this?
7/64 wide, then you can fit the 80 gauge through it, and you'll be able to tune it to E.
Look at that.
That was a conversation Dylan and I were having in
Yeah, Dylan,
DMs.
you get all this
But
cool
yeah.
stuff, man.
That's right. All right,
If
friends.
it is 7/64.
Here
Sorry.
it goes.